Hello everypony, my name is Moonlight Quill, and welcome to my studio. First off, I am happy to announce that I'm going to be going into BronyCon 2017 this year. I really wish I could have made this video more flashy and more live like others have been doing for their BronyCon announcement. So if you all want to find me, I'm going to be wearing the name tag that says Moonlight Quill on it. I'm also going to be wearing my bright blue ears and bright blue horn that I wore in 2015. Now, I don't know if I'm going to wear it the whole time because they're rather hard to wear. And my button-up blue shirt that I did wear last time, I don't think I'm going to wear it this time because it was very hard to dance in, and it wasn't very comfortable to wear the whole time. Well, anyways, if you want to come see me, I'm going to be hanging out with Finn the Pony, my BBBFF. I'm sure some of you know about it already, and for those who don't know it already, we are not blood brothers. I really wish we were. He's one of the most amazing people who's helped me in many ways possible since I joined the fandom. He's a big sweetheart. Everyone knows that if you know Finn. So anyways, I'm going to be hanging around him a lot because I've been wanting to see him forever and for ages to come. And I'm going to be looking for my favorite idols, which is Black Griffin, AC Race Best, Saber Sparks, and a couple others. So, most of all, Black Griffin, because he couldn't make it in 2015 when I went, and then 2016, last year. I couldn't go because I was too new at my job and I didn't have enough money. So hopefully I'll be able to find him and have him in my video and sign a picture I am trying to print because I don't have a color printer, so I'm trying my best to get that done. What else? My vectors. Yes, my videos still do not have a background like they should. I am so sorry for that. I know this is like a lot of lacklustering, but I am trying really hard. Like today, I have made more bases, so I am trying my best to make a lot more expressions because I noticed that I need more movement and more expressions, so I worked on a few today, and I'll show you some samples at the end of the video. On top of that, I'm going to have a surprise OC of mine join me in videos from here on. Well, not every single video, but anyways, he's a really awesome OC of mine. If you've been on my DeviantArt, you know who I'm talking about. He's the bright purple Pegasus, and me and this OC go way back. I'll do a long, detailed story about him with me being him, because yes, I voice him, about how he came to be and his backstory in general. Well, I'm not sure about the backstory because I really don't want to spoil it for a very my big project thing that's still on the hold. Anyways, I decided to add him because, number one, everyone's not available to collab with me and to do all this extra editing stuff. I don't know how to do it, and I'm sure the other who wants to do it with me doesn't know how to either, or they don't have the time, or some other person I could ask, same reason, don't have the time, I can't pay them. So yeah, I am in a struggle with that, so I'm going to have an OC with mine so it's not just me, even though it kind of will be just me in a way. Anyways, I'll introduce you to him later, because I just got bases of his vector made today. A good set. And I've tried some animation today. I know it was just simple walking with not much movement. I know it's a very, very weak little thing, but it was my only attempt at animation, and just doing those few seconds alone was, like, I think 5 or 10 minutes, which is very tedious and time consuming, so I'm sorry that I couldn't animate anything further in this video like all my other ones. So hopefully when the time comes, I will have more time, and when all these base vectors are made and I can finally get things on the go, I can finally make my videos proper and more lively. So like always, just please give me the time because I'm a very busy guy. My job is making my days extremely limited, and I have to give my attention to my family because it's just not right to stay in my room all day and ignore them, and just a bunch of stuff like that. Anyways, everypony, today's discussion I'd like to talk about Star Fox, the franchise from Nintendo. So Star Fox, what a great series it has been. Now, they have brought it back in Zero. Now, don't get me wrong, Zero is not a bad game. It's actually pretty good. It's just missing a lot of elements to make it feel complete. To me, it feels more like a demo than the full picture. because there are some really cool gameplay mechanics. I like the R-Wing, the transformation to the Walker and Landmaster, all those transformation things. Those are really cool ideas. I like them. The graphics are pretty and live, and I love the lock-on feature like you can do in Zelda, so that way you can see where your enemy ships are even if they're behind you. And of course you can see the front view of the R-Wing, which is something I've always wanted to have since the beginning of Star Fox. So what I've always wondered is, if they ever do another Star Fox after Zero, which they probably won't, because from what I've heard at this point, they're kind of done with it. I mean, I can see why, because there's not many ideas left out there, or who knows, maybe they have the ideas, they're just not ready to share it with us yet. But what I'd like to say is, what I would love to see in a new Star Fox game, I would like to see a little bit of elements from every one of the games we've seen before into today. Like, for example, the controls on the R-Wing. Now, the whole transformation thing, it's only good to me personally to just that game. But for once further on, I really think they should stick with just only the R-Wing, being just the R-Wing, because it's just more simpler, and it's what I'm used to. It's what I've grown up to love. Now, I don't hate the transformation. It's actually pretty cool. Now, what they should do, what I hope would happen, which probably won't, is that I really would love to see an all-new type of a ship. It's not an R-Wing, it's not a Landmaster, it's something really different. A special ship that can modify itself into the forms that are kinda like the other ones, but in a very different way. Like, what I mean by that is, it can turn into a stealth flyer, it can turn into a type of a combat fighter. No, that wouldn't be a good idea, because we already have combat, which is R-Wing. But okay, you know what, the whole transformation thing in general, it's only good for just one game, to me personally. Like, I know I'm repeating myself, I apologize. Anyways, it doesn't seem like a feature I wouldn't really recommend seeing in the future, because of what we've grown up to love. Now, what I mean by earlier when I said how I want a new Star Fox game that has a little bit of all the other games put together, like, for example, the R-Wing itself, I would love it for its main control and feel to the ship be exactly just like Star Fox 64. Now, the way it controls in Star Fox Adventures, Assault, and Zero, they all kind of feel a little similar, but Assault, to me personally, it's very flexible, and which is nice, and it makes sense because it's supposed to be built for combat and flexibility. But to me, it feels a little too flexible, like, if that makes any sense. Like, what's a good example? It feels like it's a little bit too advanced, and I think it should be simpled down a little bit, because I get it, it's the future, and they need to upgrade their system and their whole combat equipment. But at the same time, I think it's a little too far, to be honest. Now, I like Star Fox Assault. I really do. It's really awesome. There's a lot of reasons I like it, but that's like the only real critical thing I could say besides the Great Fox not having much of a combat scene, is the fact that the R-Wings feel too flexible. They don't feel like a powerful, huge ship. Now, this is where adventure comes in. What I would love to see for another one is the R-Wing controlled just like 64, and for Adventures, I would love the on-foot mode to feel just like Adventures, where it feels like you're literally exploring and doing deep, just deep exploration in general. Because the way Adventure is on walking on foot when you're playing as Fox, which is who you mainly do play. Anyway, I've always loved that feel. It feels like I am on a huge mission on the ground, studying the whole groundwork. It's something that you'd never see the Star Fox team ever do. And it was a very cool thing. Now, Adventures as a whole is a different story, but to put it simply, it's a great game, but it's missing some elements, and there's some things I really wish that were different. Anyways, now the R-Wing itself in Adventures, I love its landing animation. I don't know why, but out of Ratchet and Clank and some other games with ships that have a landing animation, for some reason, Star Fox Adventures R-Wing landing animation, it is so awesome. I love the sounds, I love the blue flames when it's slowly casting down, the wings closing, and the fins on the wings going down like a real airplane, and how loud it is, and landing pads, so that way it actually lands on actual display pads under the ship, and the way the cockpit opens. It's just every little thing about it is just so cool. The way Fox jumps out of it, it's just, damn. Just by one simple little thing, it's just so awesome. In Assault, it's just so simple. And, you know, like I said, I get it. It's supposed to be, you know, advanced and quick and easy to get in, easy to get out, because, you know, they're a combat unit and they have to be quick with everything. But, you know, at the same time, it feels a little too fast. Like, you don't even see the cockpit even open on the R-Wings in Assault at all throughout the game, but you do see it close, and I do love the interior. That's really cool. But I really would love to see an animation again when you land be just like Adventures. A nice animation of a powerful ship coming down with almost the same sound effects, and the on-foot sequence be just like Adventures, whether you're playing as Fox or someone else. Now, the story. I would love the story to be just like Assault, but longer. Like, I would say as long as 64 is gameplay-wise, with every level, if you were to play every level, every version of it, throughout all of Star Fox 64, that takes like over an hour, I think. Maybe a little bit more. But anyways, I would really love to see the story be just like Assault. What I mean by that is a nice opening video, have the Star Fox team run into their R-Wings like they always have, except in Zero, but it does only in the animation. Anyways, I would love to see him do that, and have a briefing cutscene where it's literally them talking in a briefing about the mission, what they need to do, and it's actually really long, some of them. And it's really cool because that's how literal air forces or any mercenary unit would do. They always brief the mission. They don't just go into it. And I like that. It's really cool. There's some pretty good moments too on top of that. And the boss, Andros, I really miss him. It's understandable, and without an argue, he's supposed to be dead for good. But since Zero is technically a reboot, and it pretty much is, of 64, which is not a bad idea, I don't think, because they're starting over, and who knows, maybe we can interpret Adventures differently, or maybe not at all. I mean, because a lot of people still like Crystal, probably not as much as they used to. But anyways, I would love to see their new imagination of how Adventures and Assault would go, and further on. So yeah, have the story like that, and have Andros come back, because I really miss him. He's too iconic of a villain to just fully get rid of. It's like getting rid of Bowser from the Mario series for good. You can't do that. He's too iconic, because if he's no longer around, no one's going to really care anymore about the Adventure series, because everybody likes fighting Bowser. At least I think they do. Anyways, have Andros back. Please have him back. He's such a cool villain. I like almost pretty much everything about him. I just really don't like his battle in Zero. It is just weird. Now, the Battle of Zero, may I say, it feels more like the first ending. Like, in 64, there are two different endings and two different versions of the final boss. You have Android Andros and Actual Andros. This one feels like the Android because, literally, that's what it is. An Android of Andros. Because when I play this, I'm like, there must be a second ending, right? No, there is not. I looked it up, and there is nothing. Which sucks, because I was really looking forward to fighting the actual flesh Andros, because I thought that in that one, it would be just like 64, where he's a giant head with floating hands, shooting lasers and all kinds of cool stuff, and then you attack his brain and eyes. That was pretty wicked. I liked that fight. It is so much fun in 64. I can't get enough of that fight. And yeah, it would seem like it would be easier, but I mean, come on. It can be so easily made a lot harder since Star Fox is Nintendo and Smash Bros is also Nintendo. And why does Smash Bros come in? Well, think about Master Hand and Crazy Hand, how both of them attack in Smash Bros Melee. Imagine Andros doing similar attacks to the two of them, like him shooting lasers out of every fingertip. Imagine trying to dodge that in the R-Wing. That would be rather difficult. And launching his hands like missiles as well, just like Master Hand and Crazy Hand do, and other various combinations that they do together. Imagine if Andros could do all those moves with his hands and possibly some more with just his head. Well, probably not that much more because it's just a head. But it would be harder because think of the attack patterns and all the other things he could do, like a spin attack with his fists. He'd be charging at you. I could think of a lot of things for hours about how he would be much harder, and I really would love it if they could take all these ideas that I'm thinking of and put them together, but it's probably not going to happen because, number one, the way Star Fox did to the general audience, a lot of fans did not like it. I can see why. I don't like it as much as I like the other Star Fox games. But there are some strong things about Zero I would love to mention. The Great Fox. It looks amazing. Just look at its design. It has like a nice combination of every one of the Great Fox designs. Now, for the longest time before Zero came out, I've always loved Assault's design because I really love how the head of the Great Fox looked exactly like a fox head a little bit. And its big turrets, its huge laser cannons, whatever they're called, it looked powerful. I just like how large and just the overall design. Now, the thing I didn't like about the Assault design was it looked a little too futuristic. It looked more of just a combat ship more than their actual home and stuff. In Star Fox Zero, it looks exactly like a mother base, headquarters, their home, as well as a combat ship. I mean, the design is overall incredible and extraordinary. I can't get enough of it. And one of the things I've always admired so much about it was a very particular battle in it. When you go through the asteroid field, there's a boss fight, spoiler alert, where you fight this huge bird-like robotic creature, and the Great Fox actually fights with you. You can see its guns blasting and everything. Now that was something I've always wanted to see happen in Star Fox, was the Great Fox into legit combat. I mean, the only time we've ever seen it in legit combat was in the Area 6 in Star Fox 64, when you go to the alternate main ending of Star Fox 64. And that was epic. But this was just, whoo, wow. Now, the problem I have with all these alternate routes, besides the one-on-one battles, is most of them, the rest of the Star Fox team is not with you. It's like, it don't make sense. Like this mission I just mentioned. The Falcos, Slippy, and Peppy, they're not even there. It's just Fox and Rob and the Great Fox. It's like, where is the team? The Great Fox is here. You would think that the other pilots would be here, but they're not. I don't get that. It don't make sense to me. That fight would have been even cooler if the rest of the team was there. This is not the only alternate route where they're not there. There's a bunch of others. Some of them, I get it, but some like that, it doesn't make sense. It's like, where'd they go? Where'd the three of them go? It doesn't add up. Now, their overall uniforms, they've all had complete different uniforms and looks to each of their games. The one I have to pick the top best looking uniforms for the whole Star Fox team is gonna be Assault. Star Fox Assault has the best uniforms I've seen the pilots themselves wear. 64 is okay. Adventures is pretty cool because I like how bright and colorful it is, and it's Falco's spiked armor. That was pretty cool, and his bandana, but too bad he only appeared for literally the last few minutes of the game. And, yeah. What was it? Zero. It is okay. I like the patches on the jackets. They're pretty cool, but I really don't like... It's not all that appealing to me. It looks a little bit too mixed with futuristic and 64. And the whole pistol on each of their waist, well, almost all of them that you see, or should I say their blaster, excuse me. To me, that's just a tease. That's just not really fair because when I saw that, I think that... Oh, is there on-foot mode? Maybe just in versus mode or a secret mission or something before I actually beat the game. No, it does not exist either. It's like, why do they have a gun there, a blaster, and you think they would use it, at least in a cutscene, but there's nothing whatsoever of them using it. It's like, what's the point having the gun there if they're not even going to use it? Like Star Fox 64, there was no gun there because you couldn't even use it. Except in the original 64 version of 64, there is a mode when you unlock where you're on foot versus mode. I really wish they did not take that out in the 3DS version. That was such a letdown. I really was happy when I've learned about that. And that's another thing that Zero lacks. There's no versus mode. There is multiplayer mode. I don't get how it works, and I don't really care to try it because I don't have any friends who want to play with me. In person, that is, because it's not online. At least I don't think so. Anyways, there is no versus mode where you fight each other in arenas or on planets. There is nothing, no diddly. It's like, what? All the Star Fox games except for Adventures had a versus mode. And the one in Assault was really cool. There was alternate weapons and many characters. Well, not that many characters you can unlock and play in all kinds of ways. There were so many things I loved about that game that were so great. Versus mode was really good. Now, so all together in one picture, what I would love to see in a new Star Fox game, I would love to see the R-Wing design and gameplay feel from 64, because that overall model is just extraordinary. It's very iconic. It's literally Zero's model. So have the R-Wing be the model from the first 64. The Landmaster, have the model be after 64 as well, and the feel of the gameplay from 64. The on-foot segment feel exactly the same as Adventures, and have the landing sequence be exactly the same as Adventures as well. The story, have it be just like Assault, and their uniforms, Assault. Have the story be as long as you would play every level in 64, but longer, if not, like a little bit longer. And have it go deep as well, like Assault went pretty deep, 64, actually they all went deep. Now, Command, I'm not even going to talk about it. That one's totally out of the equation. If there's only one thing I could even a little bit like about Command is how many endings there are, how many ways you can end the whole entire Team Star Fox, either bad, good, cliffhanger, or the end, or whatever. That's the only thing I like, because that's a really good idea, but it was wasted, and I don't want to talk about it, because there's too many negative things about it, I have to say. But I'm not going to say it here. Anyways, overall, I would love a Star Fox game just like that, with versus mode and all. As for Crystal, I would love to see her come back. On top of that, I wish and hope that they could make another Star Fox game that's just like Adventures, but interpreted very differently so they can reintroduce Crystal or something. Because a lot of us miss Crystal. Well, I don't know about everyone. Me, I do kind of miss her. I really don't care all that much because she never was around that much to really love for me, to be honest. No offense to those who like her. Anyways, that's about all I can say about Star Fox. Now, before I go, I would like to show you a few more vectors I have made so far. They're really not much, but so you guys know I'm telling the truth, I have many coming on along the way. And it's going to take me a while to finish these all. On top of that, with BronyCon coming, I got to prepare for that. And yeah, my hooves are very full right now. That's why I've been trying to occupy myself with my games and other things so I don't lose my mind and find all of this cool video making I'm finally back into doing get old and more feeling of a work chore thing instead of a fun entertainment thing. So yeah, please forgive me. I just need that break because my job's rather difficult and my home life is needing my attention so much, and I have to give it the attention it needs. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I can see you all at BronyCon, at least a couple, maybe just one. So I hope to meet some of my watchers so I can talk to yours, whatever we want. So I hope to see you there. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all next time.